Yeah, Shannon. So FHFA and HUD, through the PAVE task force, looked very hard at the reconsideration of value process. Lack of transparency around it, consumers feeling uninformed about any opportunity they might have to challenge the appraisal for a variety of different reasons, including their belief that there might be bias involved in the appraisal process. So really looking at streamlining the ROV process, making it more uniform. And so they've done that through their collective announcements, the GSEs through FHFA, and then FHA through HUD. They go into effect, policies due roughly the same time, end of July for the GSEs and August 2nd for HUD. Although I think that all three entities are encouraging the mortgagees and sellers respectively to start it as soon as possible. So what does that mean? They have a whole bunch of requirements set forth for the mortgagee and also the appraiser. Things like a limitation on 5 sales, right? So that's the most you can send to the appraiser. Limitation on 1 submission, 1 ROV per appraisal, right? And so we can't keep going back to the appraiser until they capitulate, change their mind or whatever. And so there's an interest, obviously, in continuing to guard appraiser independence as it relates there. Ensuring, though, that the request is valid, right? And understanding whether or not the sales are settled, closed sales as of the effective date. Those are the ones we're going to submit. That they're within reason, right? The appraiser used sales that are similar, so these would appear to be similar. Requirements for the lenders, and all of this, quite honestly, Shannon, is in a deeper, longer interview with Brian Barnes, the Deputy Director of Single Family Policy. And if you'd be so kind as to share that link in the description below, I think the viewers can click on that and they'd see the interview for themselves. But for lenders, it is going to create some challenges around their QC process, and who's looking at these appraisals and who's looking at the ROVs. Again, 1, to ensure that there's a valid reason for sending it, and 2, ensuring that the appraiser addressed the concerns adequately. If they determine that they need a second appraisal, there's some expectations from FHA and the GSEs that the lenders will then report the appraiser to their respective state regulator as a complaint. And so that's going to create a new challenge for lenders. For appraisers, it means you're going to have to respond in the appraisal. So you can't just send a message in the system. You can't just make a phone call and say, these aren't relevant sales. You are going to have to categorically respond in a revised report that can be delivered to the lender and then ultimately the reader of the report. And I think it's a win for everybody. It provides total transparency. I think for the lenders, the other thing that really is a big one is the disclosure, Shannon, to the consumer. You've got to provide 2 disclosures, 1 at the time of application, a disclosure again that, hey, we're going to be ordering an appraisal, and you have the opportunity to rebut that or ask questions, get corrections, for example. And then at the time of delivery. Now, that'll be different for each lender. Some are delivering simultaneously when they receive it. Some are underwriting it, and it's taking a couple of days before that happens. So it'll be dependent on that. But it's really the same disclosure in both cases.